the Yas Homestead.
Okay, today we're going to talk about wild blackberry. What we're doing here is we're talking about Yas provision. These are things that are out in the field that you can find almost anywhere that our Father has provided for us for food and for medicine. And this is part of coming out of her. You know, with learning to take care of ourselves and take care of our families in more natural ways. American blackberry, European blackberry, bramberry, rummel, brambles. A lot of people just say this is what, these are the brambles that we're cursed with, but actually the brambles and the heavy thorns are very valuable for us, and we'll talk about that. It is found naturally all over Europe and all over North America, more on the eastern seaboard, but it's pretty much all over. You'll find these thickets of between 5 and 15 feet high, very, you don't want to get too much of your skin caught on it. You have to be a little careful when you get in there. It's found on the edge of woods, which we have here. You'll find it in fields, and a lot of times you find it where you want to be growing crops and you don't like it there, but it tends to like to grow a lot of places. It starts out with a white flower, and I have that on the internet also. It's a good idea to go on the internet and look at images for wild blackberry. And don't look up just blackberry and get a bunch of cell phones. Anyway, so use wild blackberry and you'll get to see the actual fruit. And you want to see what it blooms like in early April and May, and then through most of the summer we're finding that it gradually ripens from red to purple to black. It really tastes the best when it's black and has the most nutrition then. Find the berries that are a little bit dense, they don't taste as good as the ones that are nice and fluffy, but it doesn't matter, those are all good. They have a main stem, or a root, that it's called a root stock, and the branches come out of it, and the second year that the branches come out is when they start producing. And then after 2 or 3 years they die away, and more are always growing all the time. But the old ones that are died stay there in the thicket, and they make it thicker and thicker, a thicker thicket. And so you can propagate them by taking root cuttings, by taking stem cuttings. You can also take a thing called, tip layering. You take a cane down and put it in the ground with just the tip standing up and cover it with dirt, put something over it, and it will root itself. So it's a good thing to propagate around places where you want it. The leaves are a light green, sometimes they're dark, but usually they're a light green. They're palmate, like a hand, the palm of your hand. They sort of grow out, and they're serrated, like little tiny teeth all around them. And they usually have 3 to 5 fingers. And the main vein down the center of each leaf has thorns on it also, on the underside. Now, as an edible, it's kind of hard to separate out the health and medicinal benefits from the food benefits. But as a wild edible, it's just got so many wonderful, nutritious things in it that I'll go over some of it, which I can, but you'll always find more. It's best eaten right off the vine. Just go out and pick it up and eat it. If you bring it home and let it sit around a few days, it'll probably mold. If you wash it, you don't want to wash it till you eat it, because washing it makes it mold even faster. So it's really great if you can just go out and find it fresh. But you could always also bring it in and cook it up into cobblers and pies and things. But as with most things, you get more out of it if you eat it fresh. We put it in fruit salads. And I've also found out something I didn't know, that the young tender sprouts, when they're first growing, can be peeled and eaten. Kind of like, what is the other one? Smilax. You can do that with one of our other thorny things that grows around here. Okay, it's high in dietary fiber. and both soluble and insoluble. The insoluble is great for digestive regularity and just for digestive health, but soluble fibers is very important for managing menopause. It helps manage the levels of estrogen. Soluble fiber is great for lowering cholesterol, very good for heart health. It's really great for diabetes and pre-diabetes, anything like that. And it's got very low calories, so it doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. Good source of vitamins C, E, A, and K for blood clotting. Vitamins B1, which is thiamine, B2, which is riboflavin, B3, which is niacin, and folate, which helps with, well, everybody needs folate, but it's especially good for pregnancy, for the growing baby. Also, you find potassium, zinc, phosphorus, iron, manganese, and calcium in the berries, but a little bit of magnesium. But these other things are really good, so it does support strong bones too. There's also omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids in the seeds. Now, the seeds are pretty hard. I'm not too sure how much of it we get out when we actually eat it, but it's in there. So because of the vitamin C and E, and also there's a lot of lutein in it, which is a lot of antioxidants, so it's considered very anti-cancer and anti-aging. Okay, for medicinal uses, it has a lot of tannin in it. The berries have some tannin, the roots and the leaves have a lot of tannin. And because of that, it's astringent, and it's used a lot of times for diarrhea. A decoction, I'll go over some of the references, the definitions in a minute, but a decoction of dried leaves can be used for treating thrush. Has anybody ever had candida or thrush in their throat? Especially if somebody's been on an antibiotic or they've been sick with other things. So it's helped with that. So it is antimicrobial, and when something's antimicrobial, it just is good for bacteria, viruses, and funguses and candida. So let's see. The root and the bark and the root, bark, and the leaves are used a lot for astringents, epuratives, which I just learned the name of that, diuretics, tonic, and vulnerary. Vulnerary is for treating wounds. Now, Greek physicians used the leaves and the roots for gout, which is interesting. In the 18th century England, they were actually called gout berries, which is kind of interesting. Some people say the blackberry tea from the roots is helpful for labor pains, and some people chew the leaves for toothache. It strengthens the immune system, probably because of all the vitamin C in it and several of the other vitamins. So anyway, it is good for prevention of cancer. There's also some evidence that it helps with actually treating cancer. So we need to learn more about that. Some other things, it provides cognitive benefits, helps you think better, and aids in enhancing memory. Everybody wants to remember things a lot better. And it helps with normalizing weight, and again, reducing blood sugar, that's really important. Improving the vision, the lutein in it is very good for that. And for strong bones, because of the magnesium, manganese, and calcium in it, and the vitamin K all together work together to help keep bones strong and retaining a healthy skin, which is nice. The Native Americans made a strong twine out of it, and used other fibers from the stems, and the fruit actually makes a dull blue, maybe kind of like this kind of a blue dye. There's ways of preparing it. Is best when eaten fresh from the trail. But you can also ferment it. Now, I don't know anything about it. There's something called lacto-fermentation where you can use the whey from yogurt. And I'd like to try that. But they say if you take the fresh leaves and you crush them, if you have a pasta maker, you can grind it through that. But just crush the leaves and then dry them, and then you can ferment them. It would be interesting because it actually improves the taste. You can also tincture, which is you put a bunch of leaves and berries into a jar, cover it with vodka, let it sit around, or shake it a number of times every few days, and after a few weeks, it's extracted a lot of the medicinal value from the leaves and berries. And then you can take it like 1 or 2 dropperfuls when you're sick or when there's diarrhea or something like that. Now, I want to go over the definitions. We talked about astringent. That causes the body tissues to tighten, like to tighten the skin. Depurative, D-E-P-U-R-A-T-I-V-E. That's having the ability to cleanse out waste products and toxins from the body. Diuretic, most people know what that is. It improves it promotes the formation of urine. Tonic is something that invigorates or strengthens a person. And vulnerary, that was a new one for me. It heals cuts, wounds, and scars. So they actually take it and put it on wounds. And a decoction, you take the plant and put it in cold water and bring the water up to a boil. And then let it sit for a while, and that's a decoction, as opposed to a tea where you pour boiling water over the dried leaves. Okay, that's pretty much it. Berries are really very valuable. You should eat them every day. Okay, thank you, Father.
Foundational, God's word don't change, and it don't deviate, and it stays the same. It's fundamental. If you can see the words the same for you and me, it stands for